A ver si está saliendo en... Sí, ahora ya te pone que está live.
Vale. Esto es... ¿Estamos live o no estamos live?
Estamos live.
Muy bien.
Bueno. ¿Qué pasa, Omar?
Hello, Super
How are you?
Miguelone. How are you? Still
Oh,
alive?
still alive. Still alive.
Ay, 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 ay.
I'm dry. My skin is dry.
Ay, 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 ay.
I need more salty water. Let me share in my Facebook also.
Yes, of course. Yes. Let's see what we can before to start. Let's see if we can.
Compartir enlace, compartir ahora público.
Y
ahora. You can se compartió now. Perfect.
Okay, great.
You can ask also if somebody can write something.
Yes.
Then you know.
I'm just taking 1 second more before to start. Yeah, connection is not very. It's not the best. Okay, great. So here we are. Miguelito.
Hola.
So we decide to do this interview to you as you are one of the deepest freedivers in the world. So we would like to, I know that during the last 2 months we've been squeezing you and squeeze all of the other freedivers that is around the world, but today we will try to not boring you too much. We will try to give you some interesting question and let's see if we can do it together. No. So the first.
Thank you for inviting me, Marin.
Well,
for your time.
Well, this is important. I mean, we are almost free. We can already start to jump in the water. We can go out, but a lot of people stay home. So now we can still share some of our knowledge all around.
Yeah, I think it's good because now I think the lives are getting a bit down. What is good because we all been for lives every day. But I think it's interesting because sometimes I remember I did a month ago an interview to Berto Belizzari, and I as I know a few things from details that when I share with him by person, then most of the people don't know, and people could ask or could hear things that normally could not hear from Umberto, from what he see in the TV. So he's very interested that we're still having these lives, and I'm more than happy. But soon we will be go to the water, hopefully.
I hope so. Here in Canarias Island, where we stay, we can already jump in the water. We still have our center closed, as you probably know, and we are on the way to start. But yes, we have to have the official kick.
So we're still in this phase 1 in Canary Islands. In Barcelona, where I am now, we're still in phase 0. So I can go to the water to swim or to free dive, but because I have this sports elite athlete that I can train, but mobility is very low still. So yeah, I cannot go to Canary Islands. I'm not as lucky as you.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, let's keep this interview interesting, and the first interesting question that I would like to ask you is, who is exactly Miguel Lozano?
Lozano with N? Lozano?
Lozano, not Lozano. Who is exactly?
I don't know Miguel Lozano. Maybe it's a guy living in Mozambique. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm a normal person like anyone. I just a person who like to live with passion everything what I do, and most of the people who knows me is because of freediving and I'm in love of freediving, and I kept my passion since many years now, and I still in love with this sport, and I try to make a living not only from training and competing, but also in producing content, quality content, so people can be inspired to enjoy the sea like as we do it, and also to teach and divulgate the freediving to everyone, because as I love so much freediving, I guess that many people who still don't know, the time that they will find this sport, they will get in love as I did it. So this is my main goal, to make a living, to produce content, to divulgate, to protect the sea, the oceans. What I'm most common? I know this environmental that I'm more comfortable. So, and also I like to teach people, to travel around the world with my friends, to have a business with friends like you, or other business that we have in other places. So we try to make a team and make a living with good friends, good family, and make I like to live relaxed and doing what I like.
Thank you very much. This is more than what I was expecting. So before to go in the specific, like to understand a little bit the details of how deep you go and blah, 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 and all of the center that you have around the world, I have a funny question as well. As a kid, what was your dream job? It's just to start.
I never had something that I was dreaming to be like, I don't know, people want to be, I don't know, police, or I don't know, a firefighter or something like this. I never had this. I was not before, at the same time, because I'm from a small town by the beach, and always I was in the water, or I was playing basketball, because I'm in a place where it's a lot of basketball culture. So I play basketball my life. So I always had my basketball ball in my hands, and my goggles, my mask to go to the sea.
And I understand why you are 2 meters tall.
Yeah, well, this came by this, because if you're born in a place where this basketball, that doesn't make you grow more. This is something that came to me. My family, my uncle play basketball their life, so well, it was something natural, and the place where I live, it was something very normal. So I always felt instead to feel that I wanted to work in something, especially I always was searching for kind of freedom. I remember going to the school, stay inside the school, and looking by the window and watching people walking on the street. And for me, this small thing was freedom. Imagine, no, that they can walk around freely. And I was in the school, and I could not go outside with all this. So I felt always like I needed to be free. Anything I could, I do. I don't know what. And that's why I started to travel very young around the world, to feel this freedom, probably. And then this access to free time, it makes me found the time to look for what I was made of to do. And then I had time to choose and to feel where are my passions and try to make a living from it. But I wasn't like, I need to walk. If you tell me now, probably I would think to be a basketball player.
Great. Well, like a Michael Jordan. I've seen in a Netflix. I'm seeing the
Michael Jordan is the best. Now is even better. I see the Netflix is even better. It's amazing how he could handle everything. Not just, I think the most difficult was handle the mental part, the pressure.
Yeah, psychological. We're going to talk about psychological part, because I think there is a lot of people. We have a couple of friends here. Ciao, Daniel, Cristina, Stefano. We have a lot of, they are coming too. So we will need you as well. Make your question to Miguelon, and let's follow. I remember something especially that you've been telling me, a little story when you was younger, that you was spending a lot of time into the bath, doing with your mask and with your snorkel into the bath. You're spending a lot of times, and your mom and your pop cannot take it out. This is what you tell me. Maybe it was true or not.
Who told you this? My father?
No, you. Your father too. Yes, I remember that was your father.
I think it was my father because I don't remember really.
Yeah, it was your father.
I remember going to the sea, the bath, probably a lot, because when you are at home, you could be in the bath with the mask and the snorkel. But I remember always in the sea, because when I was a child, I was always following my father. I remember even the glasses. My father was very playing still, no, but he was playing with me a lot and saying me with my two sisters. She would say, I remember a game. She tell us, okay, the one who do this, you're gonna get a mask for free, no? But you need to earn this mask. You don't get the mask because you are my sons or my daughter, no? And then he told me, if you are able to do this, that's it. This is not this. You see, this is soft. No, this. If you are able to control this, you see, most of the people do this. This fans goes down, so you have to control. And then he told me, if you are able to do this, you will get a mask. So with my sister and myself, we were like for weeks trying to control this phalange, this muscle here, and then finally we got it. And now I can do it for the rest of my life.
So this is one of the secrets of to be a deep free diver, maybe, no?
No, this is a secret to keep your child busy, and they don't talk, and they work to get one mask. So that's what I remember, and following him in the water. And I see him going down, and I was going down. I follow him, and then I have pain, but then I see him like touching his nose. But he didn't explain me, hey, this is equalization. No, he didn't say me anything. So I see him and say, okay, looks like it's working. But for many, many years, I was thinking that you can do only one equalization or one pinch. I didn't know you could go farther, because I was pinching, equalizing, going a little bit farther, and then pain again. I say, no, this is the maximum I can do. So yeah, this is what you do in when you're a child in a town where is no internet yet.
In Mongat, I remember your place. So before to start with the next question, I would like to say a special bye-bye to Gregory Forstner. You remember Gregory from the Big Blue? He was the.
Of course. But why you say
Gregory?
You say hello, no bye-bye, no?
Well, bye-bye, hello. Why not?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Gregory, and bye-bye, Omar, Dimitris. Ciao, everybody, guys. Thank you to be here with us. So
I want to go to Amorgos.
Oh, me too. But this year, I think I'm going swimming or with canoa. We will see, Dimitris. Let's
September. I hope. I hope so. Yeah, I think so. I think Europe is making a little bit of pressure. Also, the flight companies, and I hope I have my flights already for Canary Islands in October, and probably from Europe and in Egypt in November. And I think probably summertime will be a bit slow, but from September, unless there is something bad news, I think it's possible.
So Amorgos have to be a place where we have to go, everybody, because it's amazing. But Canary Island too.
Sure.
So next question: how you started your career, and where, when, and how you start to push your limit, and especially the question is why you start to really push your limit, as far as you start to get the control with all of these freediving skills. So why and when and how and where
and who?
You.
I started. Let's say I started to think about deep freediving, really like training in 2008, and I moved to Egypt to live. and I did my instructor course with Umberto Pellizzari. And then I gave, as I told you before, if you have the time and there is no limit of time, then you are relaxed with everything. So I had this period of my life that I could go to Egypt and live as long as I want to train there. And then I didn't have any objective. I knew the direction, what I wanted to know to do, that is deep free diving as much as I could, but not like a goal, like I need to go 100 meters, I need to go 110. No, it wasn't not like that. So I could go every day to train, to the sea, to Blue Hole, to access to the depth. And then in this period between, I think when I arrived to Egypt, I was diving around 35 meters probably, because I was spearfishing before at that time, and I was training a little bit free diving, but I couldn't have that much access, even if I'm from Barcelona. But in summertime you can, but in winter no. So you don't go as much as I could go in Egypt. And then after 4 years, in 2012, I attempted the world record at 122. So I did in 4 years this progression. But I was diving almost every day in these 4 years, 2 years in Egypt, in 2 years in Tenerife, where you are now. So I could have a lot of experience, let's say, because I was daily training. No? Later, I tell you for sure, in 2012, when I attempted the world record, I was diving 122, but probably I was not a 120 meters diver yet, even if I did the dive. No? Because you need to have the experience and to repeat to accept this depth. And so probably it was more like 110, 112, 115 diver, and this 122 was a peak. And then after the years, I needed to settle down and grow again. No, so I kind of pay this jump from 122. No, but I think it was kind of something natural. I give you an example. When I was living in Egypt, people came there to train, and I was living there, and people asked me, "Okay, what are you gonna do today?" And I didn't have a plan. And I said, "I don't
always."
Yeah, like always. It's nothing. Let's see how the wind goes. But at that moment, even more. At that moment, I was living there. So for me, if today I don't feel like train, I don't train. If I feel like to push, I push. If I feel like to do a hang at 30, I do a hang at 30. So there is no progression in terms of depth of meters. The difference between people who came for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they have a daily routine, and today 40, tomorrow 43, after tomorrow 46. And this makes you more rash, more anxiety. If something doesn't go well, you have to go back, and then you are with less time, and you start to rush, and then you squeeze, and you have to go back, and then again. So it's more unnatural. For me, it was very natural to don't have any kind of rush.
It was just going with your feeling, basically.
Yeah, it was a way of living. In reality, for me, it was not like I need to get this, and I don't need to be instructor of this level or something. I just want to go to the sea as much as I can and feel and learn everything and experience as much as I can.
Actually, so, I remember when I met you the first time in 2008, I think, or something like that. I was me and Davide Guerrera, and I met you in Tabaiba. You was with a lot of air, and yes, a lot of air, and you was with Santiago Jagas. He was like a Jimi Hendrix style with yeah. This was the first time I met you, Super Miguel. I was already going, I don't know, 100 meters probably, no? At that time.
No. I think that we met later. In 2008, I was in Egypt, and I arrived. I think 2009, 2010 in Tenerife. So at that time we met with Davide Carrera in Tenerife.
Daviduccio.
And it was a good experience because you were all very zen and very hippie, and now you are like this now. But
this is your fault, and it's not my fault. It's your fault.
This is one of the things I like from freediving. It's like climbing. I have many friends that they are climbers, and what I travel with them many places around the world, from Australia to New Zealand to Thailand. I've been in the best climbing spots in the world with them. And what I love was the sense of community, traveling with friends, doing your passion in nature. So when I found freediving, I said, wow, this is same as climbing. No, I can go.
And you are climbing too? You are climbing too?
No. I was hey, good.
Okay.
I was the provider. I try, but I'm afraid of heights. I don't like too much.
Yeah. Good. So we are going to talk about fear later. This will be a very interesting point. A lot of people will be very interesting to know what about fear. And so, what will be the next question? What would you like to answer to the common question that thousands of your students or friends will ask to you? What do you feel down there? I really like to, because here we usually, when I listen to a lot of lives, and we talk about a lot of specific and technical things, but I like to know more about feeling. What do you feel down there?
It's not just only down there; it's all the whole dive itself is part of the process. No, the way you breathe, the way you relax in the water, the way you move, the rhythm you do the first meters, how you slow down when you start to have negative buoyancy, when you start to free fall, you relax completely your body, and then you start to feel as deeper you go, how they increase the speed of your body, the equalization techniques, how much you are super concentrated to don't lose the air to be able to equalize, and then how you build a little bit of narcosis at that. So when you mix all this technical part with the emotional part, kind of fear, but fear, I feel more this, if you can say, fear before the dive or the night before or the months before performance than really when you really are into the performance itself, because you are so focused that, let's say, this goes away a bit, and especially when you are so focused in equalization that is very technical, you cannot lose the concentration, otherwise you lose the equalization and you have to turn. But if I would say at the bottom, if you are able to be 1 or 2 seconds lucidity with even when you have plenty of air, if it's not your personal best, let's say that is a little more into the limit, then you are kind of connect with life, with this line to the depth that in reality there is not too much depth. If you compare in a scale with the sea or to the bottom of the sea or what the mammals dive, it looks like very ridiculous actually, but you feel so small in the immensity of the water, completely alone, but as I told you, connected with life and people there. And this narcosis make you I don't have hallucinations or things like that. I just feel that I'm not 100% in myself, like
clear,
kind of not clear completely. But this kind of helped me also to keep on this kind of blurry mind, where I can focus on the technique, on the movement, and not let bad thoughts coming that sometimes come, but I can fight against and focus on technique. So I think that there is no one emotion that can describe, because our many emotions are kind of fear, loneliness, happiness, well, all these emotions together that are very intense. And once you breathe again, it doesn't have to be the deepest dive. This experience of emotions, of mixed emotions, many of our students going to 20 meters feel it, because they came out
or 10 meters maybe.
I say 15 or 20 or whatever, but it's a challenge itself. No, of course, as more you dive, you may lose all these things because you become very technical on this stuff. But the therapeutical part of the freediving is there, and it's very strong. And I think is what it makes much more bond between the love of freediving. Because if you really do it as technical, just going down and up, it's boring. It's a line going down and going up. If you think freediving is only going down and up, then you don't really know about freediving, and you are never been in love about freediving.
Great, thank you for the specific. Before to go, I'm always look the people that say comment to us, and I have a nice comment from Omar Leuci, which I think he said that we look more younger during, and that the lockdown did a very good job with us. To us, maybe to me, maybe not to Miguel. So Omar, I think you have to put a glass.
Omar Leuci, he's becoming stronger and stronger in the lockdown. More muscle, more.
Oh my God!
Omar, relax. Because we are not doing all this training, and you wanna make us look stupid.
Yeah, let's see if we can see each other over there, Mamorgos.
Every time I open Facebook, is Omar Leuci training. I'm tired. I'm tired. I see Omar Leuci, and I get tired of
it. Yeah, but you should be a little bit Omar inside as well, Miguel.
I have a little Omar inside myself, very deep inside.
Yeah. Well, you should. So, what do you think about a deep freediver? Are born with talent? Do you think we genetically we coming out and we are a freediver, or we can become a freediver?
No,
a deep freediver. Huh?
No, let's say it a bit different. Freediver, anyone can be a freediver. There is no depth to be a freediver. As I told you before, if you have love from something what you do, like freediving, then you're a freediver because you love what you're doing and you have passion and you enjoy. That's it. Then, if you want to be the deepest freediver or the highest climber in the world or whatever, of course you need to train. And as many people train in the world, every time is more and more difficult to be the best in anything, because there is a lot of people in the world and they train. No? So, like anything, if you want to be the best swimmer, you don't need only to train. You need to have specific genetic, physical stuff to be the best. No, let's say if you want to be Michael Jordan, probably if you are 1.40 meters, even if you are super good, probably you will never be Michael Jordan. Or if you want to be Michael Phelps, if you don't have a big hands and you have this mobility in the ankles or this height because it's very tall, probably they say that there is these 5 dots, and one of those to be on the elite, it must be also genetic. No, in freediving, you can get a very, very high level, even without the genetic part. But probably to go on the deepest dives in the world, you need flexibility, adaptation, let's say, of your lungs and your rib cage. You need technique. You need to be able to equalize, and you need to be able to save oxygen to be kind of efficient. You need the physical part, that your muscles are strong enough to propulse yourself without too much spending oxygen. And you need also the mental part. You need to be able to control your emotions, to keep your heart rate down, even when you go into attempt a deep dive, that even if you feel that is safe, there is some thoughts it can come that makes your heart rate up. So you need to control this, even especially in a competition environment. So I think you need all these factors. If you lose one of those, probably your performance goes a little bit down, and you are not able to be on the top. Yeah,
on the top, so, where you are, Miguel.
But everybody has their own good. I don't know how you say.
Possibility.
No. I mean, even if you have all these factors, you can work in some that are worse than better. Me, for example, I'm always try to go to the gym, to work in dry, as we say to Omar Leuci. But if you let me choose between going to the gym or go to the sea, I always go to the sea. So, and maybe sometimes it's more clever to work on dry. It depends what time of the year, no? So my week weak point sometimes is this, and maybe my stronger part. Although me, I can handle long dives, deep dives with long dive times, and others cannot handle this. They are more faster and stronger, or they cannot equalize, and they need to work on equalization. So everybody has their strongest and weakest point, and the best in the world is the one who have all these factors at the maximum.
We will arrive on this point too. So, and because the question now is on the top of you is 122 meter is your limit?
Not really, because I did 125 on training and 125 in 26 in training and 25 in world record attempt. And when I was doing this, I felt that I could do much more. I don't know how much more, because you need to train for that. But I felt I could equalize. I felt the flexibility. I felt the dive time was good because I was trained physically. So I was able years before to dive 122, let's say, in 4 minutes 40, 4 minutes 50. And then when I train my physical part to make stronger pulls or be a little bit more faster, I decreased the dive time to 4:10, 4:05, 4:10, 4:15 to the same depth. So I was able to decrease the dive time. So it means I could increase depth in terms of dive time. I was never have big problems with narcosis or the compression sickness. So at least until this point. So I think, yes, this is not really my limit in terms of depth, but it's like everything, why it takes so long to break a world record? I tried 3 times, 2012, 16, and 18. It's like a lot of space between world records attempts. In my case, every freediver is different, their life, their possibilities, and everything. But it's not easy for everyone. The ones who attempt the world record, they push. They have to work on. So I think sometimes it's more about that you are able to, you have the time to train, you have the chances, you have the good conditions, the logistics, the team, the sponsors, everything that has to be connected for a world record. Is not only depends on your performance. It's all around.
It's a lot of things behind, no?
Has to be on the same place for one day,
Great. So in this case, it's not a question, so it's like a must. We are waiting for Miguelón to make a world record.
I have a world record, man.
We would like to get it.
Every time I go a world championship, I do a world record in the night party.
In the night party. Yes, this is we will talk in the hand.
I'm not very crazy into this. I did what I did. I tried to attempt 3 times, and the 3 times I was the deepest one ever in that moment. And for me, it's enough that I know I could do. I try. Of course, there is some things that went wrong. Like first time was, as I told you, was the first time. Was everybody? I was the newcomer in 2012, and William Trubridge who has the world record, and everybody say, "Well, who is this guy from Spain coming trying to break?" Maybe I had some hair at that time to break the world record of our William Trubridge, and then I appeared like, "Hello, give me my rope there." And this makes a lot of pressure, and I didn't have the experience still, even if I dive deep, the experience to have this settled depth in myself. 2016, when I attempted in Bali, I was sick 3 days before with something I ate, and then I was super weak. But even though I attempted, because I have 1 week, so I delay a few days, because I organized the world record with the judges coming from everywhere, with the sponsors, with some media, and all that stuff, and this makes pressure. So I say, okay, I'm going to do it, even if I'm not in the best conditions, because I think I can do it. But then all the weaknesses when you do this kind of physiological effort is not very good. And in 2018, in Roatan, I had mental. It was hard to because you put pressure on yourself. After 2 attempts, you say, okay, if I fail again, people will think you are not good, and then you start to think, boycott yourself, and then no, it's okay, don't think about people, all this stuff. And but it affects also, no? And also in technical part, we have some problems of current at depth. In that special day, we had boats passing by, so every pool I lose some pools on the way up. So all these small things, but especially the pressure that I have in my mind, all these things, even if I wasn't on my best shape ever, that makes also that I fail it. But I'm not so crazy on that. I think I did it. I push it, and if I find the moment, even if I'm 41, people maybe think that I have to retire like in any sport, but probably look at Marleucci. I don't know how old he is. I think he says 43 or 44.
No, it's 29.
His body is like mine when I was 20, more or less.
See, exactly.
So,
oh my God, it's better that he's not hearing us. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I think I will see if I have the time and I have the people around me, and I'm ready. I will do it.
Bye. You can do it. Okay, so what do you think is the in the freediving war scenario? No, which will be the maximum depth that you think, that you imagine, if you look all of the athletes around, even if you look yourself, in the next 5 or 10 years? What do you think will be the maximum? We already arrive on the maximum depth in all of the disciplines, or do you think there is more to push?
No, I think there is still more to push. I think probably in constant weight. You can see, for example, now is Alexei Molchanov at 130. He looks very good. We saw Guillaume Neri equalizing 139, but he couldn't make the surface due to hypoxia. And I think probably in the next years we will see I think probably Alexei or Dave Mullins going below 130, probably 140, let's say in 10 years. In free immersion, when I was diving in 2016, I was diving in 123, 25. I felt that I could do 130 without any problem, and was 4 years ago. So probably I would think that I think that 130, 135 in free immersion, it's possible.
With 5 minutes dive time, maybe.
Yeah, sure. You need 5 minutes dive time, but I think it's no problem. You can do it. We can see divers like Matt Malina, who is doing super long dives and in pool disciplines and with super long statics, and he has very good ability on depth, so he needs more adaptation. But who knows?
As far as he's equalized, he can do it, maybe, no?
But you never know. There is squeezes, there is DCS, there is narcosis. So there is things that you cannot say. If you do this, you do that. Branko Petrovic, 12 minutes static, yeah, but it's not the same 130 meters. There is another things, no? It's not just about time. But if you find a person who is able to train properly with this physiology, training, adaptation, technique of equalization, technique of low oxygen consumption, mentally ready for it, long dive times, so and not big problems of DCS and not big troubles on narcosis, it can do it. I think I could do it.
Great.
It's not that I think somebody will do it. I think I could do it because I was there, and my mind was ready for it. But you never know, no? But for sure, I think people will be able to dive 135 or something like immersion. That's it.
Great. So to give some more details to those that they are dreaming from 0 to 100 meters, doesn't matter how many meters, but what do you think it's the psychologically is the psychological aspect that is more important for a deep freediver? And we repeat that for a deep freediver doesn't matter. For professional freediver, already they already know that deep it's already from 80 down, but for all of the rest of the people, maybe it could be less. No, 10 meters already is deep. So, what do you think is the psychologically aspect that is more important for you? That the psychological aspect that we have to work in, and maybe how some tips that we can give.
Well, I think the most important one is training, because training makes you do repetition, and with repetition you mechanize, and then you are able to control mentally, because you expose yourself more and more and more and more, and you control your mind due to the repetition, due to the training itself, because training is repetition at the end. No? So without training and repetition and rationalize and mechanize, you are not able to control your emotions, and you cannot work physically, physiologically, mentally, technically, because every dive you do, you do a learning process. So every dive you learn something, even if it's just in your footprint in your brain. And then after a lot of training, probably without self-belief, I don't know how you say in English, no? When you believe too much in yourself.
Self-control or
no. For example, when I was diving 70, 80 meters, I was telling myself every time when I came up, I was telling myself, okay, this is kind of close to your limit. You are probably cannot dive much more. And just because I felt tired, of course you felt tired after 80 meters dive, but I felt tired. But my friends around tell me, your lips are completely pink, you are completely fresh and conscious, you don't feel tired from outside, your dive times are easy, your equalization at the bottom was good, no? And blah, blah, blah. So they told me, maybe from my point of view, from outside, it looks like you could be one of the deepest in the world. And then when I hear that, there is a moment that I did a click, and I believe that, but not like I'm the best in the world. You have to believe with real information that you think that what they say and what you are doing, it can be possible, no? And then suddenly one day you just trust in yourself. So even if you dive 10 meters or you dive 120, there is a point where you start to trust, like beginners. Beginners, they are so afraid. They turn at 5 meters, not because physiologically or technically they are able to already 30 meters probably, but they need the time, they need the trust with the instructor, with the technique, with the knowledge to go down. And after 1 hour of diving, they are already diving 25 or 30 meters. They needed the trust in the equipment, in the instructor, and in themselves, and in themselves.
A right word from our friends Daniel is a confidence. To have a confidence is the best things to tell yourself you can do it.
But not confidence just like people sometimes like they just go on the street with a super ego and I have the most confidence in myself. No, this is fake confidence. You really need to be confident because you really know that you can do it.
Yes.
It's not a fake. Here, freediving is like a mirror. You cannot make a dive in this case. Let's say 125 meters or whatever, where you really push and you put your life
in danger.
In danger, let's say, even if we feel that we are safe, if you don't really feel and know that you can do it, otherwise either you are stupid or your ego is too big for the performance.
Great. So let's still stay on the mental part. It's very interesting. I think people like that, and I think I like too. What about fear? So I've seen like a documentary about Alex Arnold, which is a solo free climb. He attempted the Capitan where you've been a couple of months ago, no? I saw a picture that you've been over there. I was very, very, how you say, hungry.
Jealous.
Yeah, jealous about that. Because I'm climber too, and I love it. So I saw that they make an experiment to Arnold, and they discovered that under a scare imaging, a video, a simulation, he was absolutely no fear. So, do you think that, for example, in this case, to be a deep freediver, or we are a kind of like a loss of fear because we just let it go, a part of the practice that we've been talking before, but and apart in the genetic aspect and all of the points that we've been saying. But do you think that this special mechanism, physiological like mechanism, could be part of our freediver skills to have no fear?
No, I don't think so. I think it for sure. Maybe to Alex Arnold, it helps him in terms he for what he's doing, like a top climber, like a top freediver or top climber or whatever. Not climber, alpinist or whatever. They need to have a so high level of technical aspect. They need to be one of the best in the world, training for over the years and years and repeated to be able to do what they are doing. Of course, even if you don't have this amygdala of the fear, if you don't climb at this level of like Alex, you cannot achieve this because you are too stupid, because your chances are 98% of dying. No, so probably with this aspect, especially physiologically of Alex, but with his high level of performance, he knows that his chances of surviving, even if it's very difficult performance, are kind of higher than for the normal people, no? Because most of the humanity will die in this performance, no? So in freediving, I don't know if it helps, because I never saw any experiment to any freediver if they have this amygdala on the brain that activates when there is fear or fear situation.
Maybe it's better that they don't do any experiment on your brain in this case, because we don't want to know what is inside there.
Maybe they don't find nothing. Who knows? I got some brain test with Erika Chagatai, so there is something. We don't know what. But I think fear is important in terms of giving you the perspective of knowing what you are doing. If fear is too strong, then it paralyzes you, and then you are not able to perform. Then it's not good, no. But fear keeps you awake, keeps you aware of what you are doing, and give you the chance to choose to abort also. What is important, because there is nothing transcendental in this life. Only keep living if you have a good life, let's say. The important is to be alive. There is nothing important. If you die, even if whatever you do in this life, if you die, it's gone, and the world keeps continuing on their thing, no? So I think you have to feel this fear, the respect of what you are doing, but without paralyzing, because you have the technical and the knowledge of doing what you're gonna do. Right. Without technical and knowledge, you're dead.
So the last question about fear, and then we move to, because I have another question, the people that they are listening us, and so did you felt down there once at least? Did you felt I'm so deep? Did you never felt I'm going to die? I feel like a shit right now. Mm-hmm. And I have to do 100 and more meter on the way up. You never felt?
Not many times. I have some reminds of some dives. I remember one dive 213. I don't know why at this depth and this day. and I think even was in vertical blue. I don't remember, but was shallower when I was doing already. But sometimes you have a bad dive, and especially on the way up, or maybe I don't remember now this dive itself, but maybe I was going down, and maybe I felt like I should turn, but I say, nah, let's keep on going, and then I get the bottom, and probably this maybe thought on the way down. When I turn and I start to come up, with the narcosis and with this bad thought on the way down, I remember when you come up, it's more easy to have bad thoughts because it's all mechanical. It's just movement, and you can or finning, you can mechanize this movement. You are not so focused as when you go down, because you have to relax, equalize, and you are super focused. And on the way out, it's just like fin. So it's easy that bad thoughts come to you. And I remember one of those thoughts like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna make it to the surface, no. So, and I did it, I make it, no. But I remember as a bad thought, and this also helps me to train properly, no. It's like these small calls that we have all. I have few calls in my career, like when Nick Meboli died, that died from a lung squeeze, and all of us like, okay, sometimes we have the squeeze, and we even laugh about it, no. And then a friend of us die, and say, okay, you die from the squeeze, no. And then you see again yourself in a mirror, and you say, wow, maybe I'm the next one, no. And then you start to dive more responsible, because as I told you, there is nothing transcendental. If you die, the life keep on going, and that's it, no. And I like more living, like probably most of the people. So you need to start to accept and to dive more responsible, and all this sometimes feeling of, oh, I'm not gonna make it. It made me also to learn when I have to turn, because I think one of the things we teach to freedivers, beginners, and we learn when we are beginners, is that you don't need to turn for an excuse. Okay, today I didn't breathe properly, I didn't sleep good,
the color of my mask is not good today,
I have some water here, and I eat too much in the morning, and a lot of things that maybe we say, let's turn, and then we turn and turn and turn, no? And most of the time are excuses. Okay, and that's what beginners learn, to don't excuse themselves every time they dive, no. So we learn so much to don't turn, that at the end you need to learn when you have a more experience, you are more experienced, and also people is watching you also, and you try to be responsible for others to dive, and that maybe sometimes it's good to turn. So you have to learn when the information is telling you, okay, you should turn, and then you have to do it. And it could be one of the lessons you learn over the years for all these mistakes that I did. No, I remember one time I was diving in Sharm el Sheikh, and I don't remember. I think I was training for going to vertical blue or something, and I was with friends at the platform training, and then we finished the session, and everybody went, and I was like, I don't know, on the side, on the lines, on the last rows was set some ropes at 80 meters at the bottom, no? And then I said to the guys, okay, you go, I'm just gonna play a little bit around here, no? And then everybody left, and then I make a dive, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna just to finish the session with good sensations and blah, blah, blah. And then I started to feel so relaxed on the free fall, and relax and enjoy and equalizing, and I was so focused that boom, I reached 80 meters at the bottom. And when I reached the 80 meters, I thought, wow, I'm at 80 meters and I'm alone. There is nobody at the surface. So I was like, okay, Miguel, concentrate. I was diving already 100, I don't know how much, but who knows? You can make a mistake, and maybe you die this day because this is a stupid mistake, no? So I was like, okay, everybody pull, concentrate. When you go up, breathe properly, be conscious all the time, blah, 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 blah. Never didn't happen anything. But this thing is in my mind. I remember this feeling of being alone and say, okay, Miguel, control yourself in this moment. No? And this makes you learn
and never do again, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Miguelito. I have one question from Daniel, Super Daniel. It's very difficult. His surname, Rotter German, something about that. He wants to know about your constant weight. I think B-fins, at least. He would like to know, how are we gonna see some more performance in the near future from you in constant weight or constant weight B-fins?
Yeah, I did. Wait, I have
a little. Hello, beautiful.
a little girl coming here.
Ciao, Bella.
Hola. Hola. See, and the other one is screaming. No, not that one.
Ciao, ciao.
Daniel, I'm not really sure. I did for many years. I was doing. No. Sí, no, es que no estem parlant amb l'Omar, estem parlant amb més gent. So for many years, I was at the beginning. I was training only constant weight from 2008 to 2011, 12 almost. I was diving only constant weight, sometimes for immersion. And then, no estem parlant. And then we end up doing free immersion. Wait a second.
Don't worry.
Wait.
Don't worry, be happy.
Otherwise, it will be impossible.
No, anyway, Daniel was talking about B-fins, not, well.
Yeah. I'm gonna answer the question. So I start more constant weight, and then I did 100, and then after years I started again constant weight because I thought it was good to train other disciplines that just not only free immersion, because it helps me mentally to recover properly, to be less deep that I was doing in free immersion. So it's a little bit less pressure, no? So at the end, I end up thinking that it's good to train no fins, constant weight free immersion in the different disciplines. So I end up doing 105, 108 on training in constant weight. But in bifins, I'm not so much focused on bifins and training too much on bifins. I think still I can push a lot in constant weight and constant and free immersion and no fins. I'm very, very hungry in no fins more than constant weight. Just give me a second because I'm gonna send her outside.
Don't worry. We will wait you, Miguelito. Actually, we have a lot of more questions for Miguelito, but I'm sure that he will have he would like to stay more time with their little princess than with us, no? So Miguelito is coming back soon. Yes. So here we are.
It's impossible. It's funny. 1 second after 2 minutes, she started to take me this and the computer breaking. I need to pull her out.
It's a little princess. Princess.
3 years and a half. It's impossible. It's a wild animal.
Yeah. Did she already go to 30 meters with 3 years or what? 10 meters each year, no?
She went 2.5.
But yeah, she will.
Without equalization, eh?
Without equalization. Okay, let's do it. Let's build a little whale like Natalia did with Alexi, no?
Yeah.
I seen a picture from Molchanov when he was maybe 3 years old, and he was with his belly up with 3 years old like this.
All right, yeah.
So let's build this kind of child for the future.
This is also genetics. But for answering Daniel, I'm more hungry for no fins. I think I dove 86, and I think I have a lot of room there. I think, for example, William Trubich could do this 100 meters because he was so focused on no fins for long periods. as I did for immersion. I didn't have that much time of access to be all the time in depth. So if there is some people that if we dive for long periods in no fins, I think we can kind of be close of what are the records at the moment.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about the situation now. Because we are already in the hand. We don't want to bother you too much, Miguelon, and we would like to a little bit have little bit information from you. What do you think about this situation? Because yes, we are in a restriction periods where we like a freediving center. We cannot open for all of the customer that they are writing to us. But what do you think will keep alive freediving business in this moment? You have a center in Tenerife, Lanzarote. You have a center in the hub. I'm the manager of one of your centers. Yeah.
At the moment is of course not easy, and we had to reinvent ourselves because we are outdoor sports companies, and we need and we love to be outdoor in the sea in this case, no? And for sure is what we work, no? But I think it shows us that we can work in different ways, no? Like many companies that they believe that they can work more efficient sometimes if we do something online. No, I like the personal touch. I when I teach, I like to have the people in front of me, and sometimes it's hard to do a live session through video conference and this, and you get tired of the computer and all these things. No? But the situation that is mandatory, we cannot do anything else. Probably it will change few things, but not the essentials. But what mainly we are doing is things that people can train in dry. Even what I realized, I'm doing online equalization sessions.
Yeah, you're doing right now. Yeah.
Many of the students that they are coming for my courses in summertime, they want to book these sessions, and I thought was not very interesting, no, for people, but I was amazed how much people are interested and how much we could work before they reach to the course. Because at the end, for example, equalization at the lower levels, I have also divers that I coach that they already dive 100 meters, and I tell them, are you really sure you want a session? Because probably you don't take that much profit. But then after doing sessions with them, I realized that I could give them a lot of tips that I did to overcome some depths, no, and change details like rhythm, like where to set up the mouthfeel, which is the technique exactly what they are doing, how many times they equalize on the free fall, if it's on demand or just mechanize it, where is the tongue, where is it at the depth. So there is
so many little details, no? Yeah.
So little details that we see when we dive with them and we film, but I realized that they can work also on dry, no? So I think this will shorten a little bit and make them more prepared when they will be able to come to train, because once you have the knowledge of imagine the equalization and the mechanism and the techniques there are and the exercises, especially for very beginners that they do Valsalva and they need to switch to Frenzel. When they do a course, if they don't do it in these 3 days, it's finished the course, no? And maybe we give them some tools to work. But if you are 2-3 months before doing exercises and with the theory, then you are more ready to maybe be able to switch from Valsalva to Frenzel, no? For example.
Great.
So I think it's very useful. And I don't do it, but for example, in the centers, what we do is we are doing already instructor courses, all the theory at the moment. We are doing the stretching, the breathing exercises, stretching, dry training, aerobic and aerobic training, like the calendar program training year, all these things that people from somewhere in the world, they want to learn. and be ready for a year of training, no? And until we cannot give access to that actually in Canary Islands, as you know, we've been discussing the last days, we can go already to the sea and we can open probably our business, but we need to find the moment where we are able to open and have our people, our workers, but also we need to have the customers. If they cannot fly to Canary Islands, even if we are ready, we cannot open fully, no? So we are waiting for this moment to match. But I think this theory thing will keep on the learning offering.
Actually, if I can share, of course, I'm like a manager of the centers. I'm feeling that I have the feeling during I make the online class as well, that the people are, like you say, they are very interesting to do it, because they find that they have more time before to jump in the water, to work with the equalization skills, to rising up the whole breath. So I think this is I don't want to say anything, but I think will be even the future of the freediving center,
No.
at least for the theory, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. It can be like this, and it will help. I think the one-to-one or small groups are very interesting. Not just a video where you sit and because it's something generic. Maybe we do also, but also we will work with people in life, because we can see what their problems, no? But I don't say it's going to be the future, because if the future is of teaching freediving is only be in front of a camera, I will change my career. No. But for sure, it can get shortened. Instead to be 5 hours in a level 1 sitting down in a class, maybe you do 2-3 hours online, and maybe 1 or 2 hours in the course, and then you shorten the time. If you fly to Canary Islands, what you want is to go to the sea, to go to the mountain, to be outside, and maybe instead to be 5 hours in a whole week and in 3 days in a theory lessons, maybe you do 1 or 2 hours that just to remind what you have worked online before, and then profit the time to go to the sea and have this free time to go with your family for your holidays everywhere in the nature, no?
Estupendo. We will see, Miguel. I think that we are almost on the end of our amazing interview. I think this is one of the most interesting interview I ever listened. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's Michael Jordan.
No, the Michael Jordan one. No. I will just.
It's a pity. For example, I've been following the lives of Umberto Pellizzari. I think he did amazing job.
Of course, absolutely.
Every day, it's the only thing is that he did in Italian, no? So for the non-Italian speakers, is a pity. But today I saw a video of somebody made of him of these 2 months, like every day, with a lot of lives, with many things, with all the people from Italy. And they make like a small video, like for gratitude of what he have done. And I wrote him the Michael Jordan of the Apnea.
Of course,
because it's true. He's a fucking Michael Jordan of Apnea, because he could decide to say, nah, I'm not gonna do a live now, but he did every day for 2 months live at the same time. So it's a work. It's a hard work.
Yeah. Well, Miguel, I think that the last question will be more about what is the underwater project the most that you like, of course. And maybe even if you have some like a dream underwater dream project, let's say, from what you did already, what was the best for you, and which will be the future one that maybe you will work for.
I like any project where I'm in the water and I can show the wonders of the sea to other people, no? What I probably, just when you ask me this, it comes to my mind the 2 weeks I spent in between Tenerife and La Gomera. There is these pilot whales, the calderones tropicales, that we spend a few weeks with these animals diving every day with Rafael Herrero and Andrea Cassini. We were diving every day with Anna. So I learn a lot from these animals. They behave, how they move, when they are scared, when they are curious, and how big they are, and they can do whatever with you, how they move. So I enjoy it a lot. No, when we filmed this mini documentary about the protecting these animals. No, also I remember doing a serial going to Malaysia when we were diving with Bajau, the gypsy, the sea gypsies.
The gypsies.
And we were diving also a few weeks together, living with them every day. And this project never came out to light, and I hope in the future. And the idea is still alive. No, that we want to go around the world to show what the amazing places that we have, but also their crisis and their problems. No, why there is overfishing, or maybe there is some pollution, or tourism pressure, or whatever. No, so trying to show not only the good things, because it's very easy to show good things, but just the camera close it and then see the amazing animals, but all around is full of plastic.
It's full of plastic and rubbish. Yeah.
So show this balance between what we have and what are their problems in a very graphic and honor way. So it's just, this is what it is. No, then you take the conclusions, and then when you protect it better. No, so I think this project, what I have done, are related. Are not only this thing, but are related to the magic or the beauty of these animals, and also the beauty of people who live from the sea, but they have their problems because of how the world is living. No, because for example, I remember these sea gypsy people, they were in Mabul. All around the island, when the tide goes down, was full of plastic completely. It was crazy. Goodness. But it's not their plastic, because they don't produce that plastic. The plastic come from the wind and from the tides and the currents, and they end up there. And it's been so many years that they have these plastics there, and this dirt that for them is normal. It became normal. Childs play around with the plastic and looking for look at this, and they play and look and throw in and for them it's like part of the environment. No, when it is not. No, so I think it's important to show these things, not only freediving as sport, but also as our playground, to keep it safe, because it's part of ourselves. So this is what I would like to do.
Well, this is what we should do, everybody. Keep our ocean and our sea safe, because otherwise we have no future. So, Miguelito, thank you very much. Of course, it's a pleasure. I know you since a lot of time, but I am always keen to listen how funny you are, but how interesting you are, and how you intelligent, and how there is anything into your brain.
You forget handsome?
Yeah. So no, not so much. So we are waiting you in Tenerife in October.
I already planned. Well, this year, of course, we had the end of October. I think it's 29 October to 1st November. The
Miguel Camp. So,
and then I organized already, as this 2020 will be a bit strange. We organized already for 2021. I think it's 29 April to, is in my website, to 2nd May, if I don't remember bad. A training camp in 2021 also in Egypt. In Egypt, sorry, in Tenerife.
And then, well, all of the other information is on your website with all of the calendar, and from all of the rest, I'm happy. Thank you very much,
hope
Miguelon.
I can go to train there, not just to teach, but also to train and all together, because it's a pleasure. And not look. Many people tell me that I always talk very good about Tenerife because I have a center there, but I always tell them, before I was opening a center, I was living there for training. So if I was there, it's because the place is amazing for freediving. So of course now we have a business, and we want people go there, not just because we make a living, because it's an amazing place for freediving, and for other things. So I'm not selling only freediving and Tenerife because I have a business there. It's because I believe it's one of the best spots in the world, especially in Europe. I don't think there is a same place where you can freedive all year round.
Yeah, actually, from my side, since I'm with you guys, Apnea Canarias, Miguelon, Santiago, so 2014, if I don't remember wrong, I saw increasing, and right now, before the coronavirus, I think that we was at least one of the most active in Europe, at least.
It took years, because when we arrived in Tenerife, it was always freedivers, but local freedivers, and the best freedivers were in Spain were from Tenerife, because they have access to that. But non-Europeans were going there, or people from America or whatever, no. And after 10 years, we did a good job to make aware people that they have a place where they could train all year round with amazing conditions, no. So I think after the years, I hope after coronavirus we're still the same or even better, that make people aware that this is a good place and can be one of the meccas in the world, and probably one of the most active places, freediving centers in the world, because you are able to train with good condition all year round, no? So, and we have, of course, our twin conditions island in Lanzarote, that we cannot forget, because when we open Lanzarote, we choose to open in Puerto del Carmen, because it's same conditions that we have in Ras Azul.
No? Very good distance.
Visibility. So the orography is so deep, and the water temperature, there is no thermoclines, all the currents, all this stuff, that we are protected from winds. So all the conditions that we have are same of Tenerife, and I think
there is a lot of place where in Lanzarote where you can snorkeling. There is a lot of wrecks. There is now underwater museum. So I think that
every island has something to offer different. But in terms of freediving, this is both places are very amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think we have to stop, because I'm going to talk more and more and more. So bye.
You're going to the toilet.
Thank you, everybody. Claudio, Jose, Daniel, Egoitz, Carl, Youssef, El Moro, Dunia, Adonisios, Omar. Thank you, everybody, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. And where? Here. Ciao, Stronzo. And then ciao to all of the Stronzos.